This is the greatest IKEA hack. This whole project cost less than $15 to make. I start by wrapping the outside of the vase and the bowl in newspaper to protect it. Then I take it outside to give it a couple of coats of this stone spray paint on the inside. Once that's dry, I put a colour changing light inside and you are left with these adorable trendy mushroom lamps. Would you make these?
Do you recognize this rug? If you're like me and you love Bluey, even though you don't have kids, you're going to want to see how this turns out. I took a kit for making a basic room and used it as a base for this project. I tried to make every aspect of Bluey and Bingo's bedroom, and it involved not only needle punching, but tiny woodwork, electrics, printing on fabric, paper, and a whole lot of glue. I reused some of the wiring that came with the kit to make their cute little salt lamp, and to be honest, I particularly enjoyed making all the teeny tiny books and little details of their bookshelf. I even used shrink plastic to make their iconic stained glass window, and it turned out pretty darn good. Shrink plastic really is the gift that keeps on giving. Finally, I get to stick it all together, place everything exactly where it should be with my trusty tweezers, and not forgetting the glow-in-the-dark stars, thank you Cricut, and it's done! This was a marathon of a project, but it's all worth it to see Bluey and Bingo in their new room, or old room. And look, it glows!
I saw this project on TikTok and wanted to try making one myself. It's my first time using lightweight filler and it's my new favourite thing. It can be smoothed on, sanded, and it has the consistency of buttercream. It can be coloured using acrylic paint and put into a piping bag. I covered the mirror in some painter's tape to protect it and I started piping it on. To make this feel like a real cake, I used a variety of colours, nozzles, and piping techniques. When that was done, I put on some cream dollops and added the clay cherries I had made earlier. I absolutely love how this turned out and I would definitely be using lightweight filler for many projects in the future. Here's a quick hack to give any lamp a glow up. Start by removing the original lampshade until you just have the frame left. Heat some water, pour in your dye, and I'm dip dyeing some fringe. To get a gradient where it goes from light to dark, I add some more dye and dip the ends. With a quick dry from a hairdryer, you're ready to start decorating. I use hot glue to go around the top of the frame and do a few loops with the fringe until you can't see the lamp below. And after a quick haircut, your lampshade is ready. Gradient turned out so cute. Please let us know if you try this at home, and follow for more hacks. We are back with another bread bin cabinet. I wanted it to be super colourful, so I started with these rainbow stripes across all the slats, and then for contrast I painted the rest of the unit white. I repeated this process on a second bread bin so that they could be stacked. Once it was painted, I added these super cute little gold legs. It was a hard shape to get them all onto, but it worked out in the end. I then stacked the bread bins on top of each other and screwed them together. And as a finishing touch, to match the legs, I painted the handles gold. And here is my finished bathroom cabinet. I'm super happy with how it turned out. If you haven't seen it, then please check out our previous bread bin cabinet. This is the pinkest pink paint, a pigment so vivid that cameras and screens can't accurately register or display how pink it really is. All this started when a company called Surrey Nanosystems created a pigment called Vanta Black, the world's darkest pigment. They gave exclusive use of the paint to artist Anish Kapoor. In protest, Stuart Semple created the pinkest pink, with the caveat that it can be used by anyone as long as you are not Anish Kapoor.
Have you ever tried making a hot glue mold? If you already have a hot glue gun, this can be a really quick and simple alternative to using silicone. Applying that nail polish that you saw earlier on will make it easier to remove the biscuit from the mold, but as you can see, it still requires a good clean. After a quick wash with just some soap and water, the mold is ready to use, and you can use things like resin in these molds, but I prefer using materials with a bit of flexibility to them, like clay. Good enough to eat.
If you're anything like me, you've been watching Karen Joy on TikTok make some adorable food art bowls. She usually does cereal. Her newest one was noodles, and I thought I'd attempt to make my own. I coloured some foam clay with acrylic paint, and I put it through a noodle strainer, hoping that would work, and it actually kind of did. I was kind of impressed. I found these cute little plastic noodle bowls. All my extra pieces were made out of foam clay. I went for an egg slice and some fish cake. Note to self, wait for the foam clay to dry before you cut into it, otherwise all the colours will blur together. I also wanted to look for a way to make some greenery, maybe some leeks on top, and a friend of mine suggested using some green straws cut up, so I attempted that, and it actually looked pretty good. I coloured my resin brown and drizzled it over my noodles before adding my extra pieces. Once it was done, I glued the chopsticks on top, and look at how cute it turned out. I love it so much. Let me know if there's any other crafts you want me to attempt.